What's like going on here, sir? Did our intro just pooped on us?
I don't know.
Oh man, yeah, it did. Oh well, that stinks. Well, hello and welcome to episode 168, I think, of NOLA Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, good to be with you. It's fortunate that our intro didn't roll, but it's all good, man. Yeah, I'm doing all right. We've got another really cool WandaVision episode that we're gonna be talking about here
Yeah,
because a lot happened since we spoke last week.
yeah. That's probably the biggest thing of note, really. I mean, I do have sort of a PS5 update if you want to hear about it.
Sure.
Now that I can talk about PS5 stuff and not have to worry about standing. Oh, by the way, did you see that GameStop actually had like a decent bundle for like $700?
Yeah, of course
Yeah,
after.
yeah. I mean, I'm good, right?
You're
Because I got
good,
I got
yeah.
what I wanted. I got what I
Right.
needed, so I'm good. But yeah, no, I still played some Miles. Again, I wanted to play the other one, the first game first, but did a couple hours of Miles. And then oh man, I just went around and started doing like the side stuff, not really
Yeah.
like the story stuff. I did get like the first story bit after the first intro sequence, which I think was phenomenal. Man, represent. It was good. It was good. It felt good. It felt really good.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So did that. Did a couple of the like the side stuff here and there, right? Like the random items that you can find and whatnot. So did that. That was cool. But then the next day, I actually went back and started playing the actual Spider-Man uh, that came out for
Okay.
PS4 in 2018. Very good. Like again, you were not lying. It's like, oh yeah, wait until the intro sequence for the other one because it's also the same thing, like a huge set piece, and it was great, man. It was phenomenal. I actually find it a little bit harder than Miles.
It is.
Okay, all
Mm-hmm.
right.
But
I
at
mean,
but at the same time, you're way more powerful as Peter Parker than Miles. Like as you progress through the story and as you upgrade him and his different his different gadgets and whatnot. Like Miles has that really awesome like shock,
like the Venom,
ability.
yeah, the Venom ability, yeah.
Yeah, like that's really cool. But like Spidey has way more. Peter
His
Parker has way
okay.
more
So
ability.
the skill tree is a lot more robust
Yeah.
on the other. Okay, okay. Yeah, like it did feel like because you get that thing with Miles like right off the bat, and you can
Right.
just and you can abuse that move, man,
Oh, for sure.
pretty
You
well.
could button smash.
Yeah. But yeah, the other one like a little bit more coordination, a little bit more thinking involved in the
For sure.
combat. At least for now, I know that eventually it's probably going to be a free for all, but uh, yeah, I also enjoying it a lot, a lot. I really like both of them, dude. Nothing negative to say at all.
Good times.
Like I had fun just looking for stupid backpacks around the city. I
Yep.
was like, I'm just gonna look for the backpacks,
And then he
and I'll
tells you a
leave.
little story when it comes up.
Yeah, because it gives you like a specific item, and it gives you lore. It's good. Oh
Yeah.
man, it's absolutely without question one of the best games I've played so far. I mean, for being like the first PS5 experience, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a must. Yeah, really itching to go back to Sekiro, but I'm gonna just roll it with Spidey and then go back to Sekiro. So I'm good. I'm good there. Um, Nothing else going on. Really, I didn't watch anything of note other than WandaVision. If you want to talk about it, man, because we
Let's do
got
it. Let's jump into it.
because also there's like it's been a very drama intensive 48 hours. So we will talk about it. We will we'll have to talk
Ooh,
about it.
trauma.
There's no going around it. We got to talk about it. So
We're good. We're good, man. We
yeah,
got it.
yep. So one division, we got our cameo. I mean, one of them, right? Because there's talks that there's another big cameo. Uh, this series is supposed to be 6 episodes or 8.
No, 9. I
9?
thought the same thing because if that would have been the case, we would have gone to finale
Yeah.
this tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
But
Still
yeah,
got
I
three
went back
episodes
and
to
fact
go.
checked it, and it's 9 episodes.
Okay, so
So we'll
we
be
got
done on March 5th, and then I think it's like March 17th or something like that is
19th.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So you have 1 week off between, and then just picks right up.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, yeah, so we have 4 episodes left.
Yeah,
We got plenty.
we're
Cause,
halfway through.
bro, there's okay, all right. Again, the cameo that we all saw a million miles away. Like at least you and I, at least, right?
Oh no, we knew.
I mean,
We talked about it in earlier
yeah,
episodes.
I've seen some reactions, and
Yeah.
it's interesting to see. It's like, oh yeah, they actually did it, and others that react in absolute shock. It's like, oh, what? Do you know what this means? And this means that they're gonna. It's like, yeah, like we've known for the last like 18 months since Fox got bought out. So
I'm just curious. I don't because I haven't talked to. Obviously, we're both staying indoors, but I've not really talked to people that I usually would talk to. That they're not maybe as crazy on the Marvel lore. They watch it, but they're not in deep in it. I'd be curious to see what their reaction was to that
yeah,
because like they may not have watched the Fox X-Men stuff. They may just be MCU people, and they might
or
be like, "Oh,
yeah,
he's
or they could
who's this
just
guy?"
they,
I'd be curious to see what their reactions are and what it means to them.
yeah, and a lot of people like checked off after X3
Right.
because X3 was bad. A lot of people checked out after that and didn't watch like the Days of Future Past and the newer stuff. So
Yeah.
um, I am really excited. It's really interesting with the whole recasting thing, and it's like, oh, she recasted Pietro, and it's like, well, like yeah. I mean, the X-Men are in. Like, there's no going around it, right? Also, it was very clear that he was not brought there by Wanda. That he was actually uh, he infiltrated it. He infiltrated the hex, and because the alarms were going off when he showed up on screen, the alarms over at the sword camp were going off. So like he was there, he was not supposed to be there. Like he brute forced himself in to the hex. Like he's so fast he can basically move between the particles and go in and had no problem. Um, and here's where you know Xavier could come in, right? Because he probably has the knowledge of what's going on, and he was sent there by Xavier, or he's there for a reason, right? He's not there to be a cameo. He was there's motives behind him being there, and that's what I really want to figure out next time we're there.
Yeah, that's a really good breakdown. It's a really good theory you got there, man. I'm of the mindset that they want you to think he is who he is and that he's not who we think that he is, like generally speaking on the surface.
Yep.
That's just like a feeling that I have. I don't feel like they're trying to that much connect things to the Fox universe. I think it was just a fun plan. That's just my opinion. Um, but your theory is absolutely like would not surprise me. Like that's very spot on. So I just feel like in general, I feel like the devil showed up on her doorstep, like the speak of the devil. So, uh, I don't have any direct thing behind that. Guessing obviously what happened with the bunny is very indicative. The same thing happened with the
Yeah.
dog, and we see what's going on with the animals. That the animal is there, and then all of a sudden he's just gone. Oh, and it's always connected to this
So, oh man, I forgot.
Agnes or Agatha character,
Yeah,
really.
exactly.
So
So
there's
so
clearly something there, and at the moment that they're talking about everything that's going on there, guess who shows up on her doorstep? Convenient timing. So
yeah,
I just do feel like there's a little bit more to that, and some of the things that, assuming these leaks are real, there was, and I tell people stay away from it, I accidentally bumped into them, and it just makes me upset.
I'm
I'm very
not. I'm not
disappointed.
actively
I hope
looking
that
for them.
it's
So
yeah. I
I'm
hope
good.
that what I saw is just was just completely misdirection. But um, the picture I saw, yeah, I don't think it's what we think it is.
Does it looks like the guy from Ghost that's in Ghost Rider or no?
No, no.
Okay. Okay. Good. So I forgot the name of the YouTube channel, but there's a YouTube channel, Joel. I don't know if you've seen the guy that does like breakdowns of episodes. And he does breakdowns of trailers and episodes. I forgot the name, man. If I remember, I'll shout it out because it's really really good because it's like, bro, how can you even catch this stuff?
I
It's,
think I
it's,
know who you're talking
it's
about.
insane.
I think I know
Uh,
the guy you're talking about because I'm pretty
yeah,
sure I've seen his stuff.
yeah, and it's amazing. Like a lot, like all the details that they catch, and not even just the details, right? The knowledge that they have about the comic books because they come back with
Hmm.
like, oh, there's this thing that happened in this issue with, I was gonna say Billy and Jimmy. Not the double dragon. Billy and Tommy, and
Yeah.
with a dog, and it was very like a dog ate something, and then someone had to kill the dog because he ate something or found out something. It's like, and it is just like that. It goes to like Agnes, and it's like, oh, dog's dead now. It's like,
Hmm.
did the dog die or did he get killed? Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like that. And the confrontation with them in the that final sequence, that it was so good, and it's great that again, like their chemistry is so good that even when they argue, you can actually feel it, and it was great. Like it was great. Like she just walked away. It's like, I'm just gonna roll credits on you. See ya. And it's like,
I
and
loved
he's
that,
like,
dude. And
no,
he's
and
like,
he
no,
disrupted
this
it.
is, you
Yeah,
are not stopping this.
it
Like, I
was really
know.
good,
That was, what a great, oh, the editing
dude.
on this has been
I
phenomenal.
know. Yeah, man, I really really love this show. Like it
I
was
know.
like, I really like it, man. I really do. The whole
It's a
logo.
pleasant surprise because I did not have high expectations. I didn't think it would be terrible, but I thought it'd just be like, okay, something you get through.
It was,
It's
yeah,
hitting off amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Same thing. Like it's like, oh, that's gonna be a fun thing to watch until Falcon
Falcon
Winter
Winter
Soldier
Soldier.
show
Right.
up. But then it's like, oh, man,
They ain't
this
messing
is
around.
nuts. Yeah, yeah, it's insane. Uh, Man, I am just I'm really excited for this freaking show. I don't know. It's so good. It's so
Yeah.
good.
It's
So
not
we
only halfway through. There's plenty to come.
Yeah, so we're gonna get. I'm sure that we're gonna get more details. I'm sure that Quicksilver is gonna hang around the house like the cool uncle, like an Uncle Jesse type of character from Full House, and we'll see how that goes. But I am really excited. It's
He
a
acknowledges her as sister right away. Hey, sis. I mean,
long
it's not. They're
lost
not.
long lost sister. Yeah, long lost
Yeah.
brother can hug her sister to death. Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean,
It
speak of
was
death. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny that in the Fox universe, he knows the truth, right? He knows that Magneto is
Yes.
actually his father,
Right.
but he doesn't know he had a sister or potentially had a sister. Like, could he? Again, it's this
There's a lot
whole
there. They never
cross
showed the
universe thing.
parents of the twins in Age of Ultron or
No,
anything like that.
no,
They were just test subjects, but we don't know their parentage,
correct. Well, the thing with the parents is like they got killed by one of the Stark bombs, right? We know that.
allegedly.
Yeah. Well, we know that, and the thing is that um
Or did
like I think based on like their backstory on like the, and I'm not sure if this is like MCU backstory or if this is comic book backstory, that they were sort of like adopted, both of them, by the Maximoffs, and you know you don't know, right?
right.
And it's one of those things that again, the snaps, like the gamma radiation, could awaken X genes, and now
Oh
like
yeah.
people that had not were normal humans basically. Now they start getting mutant powers because of like the radiation caused by the snaps and all this stuff. Man, This freaking show's so good, and I like putting pieces together, and it's amazing.
That's the best part of it. It's very intuitive. Like you
It's
have to put pieces together.
it's like a Metal Gear Solid cutscene, bro. I love it. It's so good. It's fantastic. So yeah, definitely looking forward to tomorrow's episode. I don't think I don't think they'll drop another like big one just yet. But who knows? Like we said that for Bando, and then was like,
Right.
oh
Like
man.
that was probably be a more average episode.
Yeah, no, it was not gonna be an average
None of
episode
them.
at all. Yeah, so yeah, I'm excited to see what's next with that show for sure. Uh, and just to keep it rolling, Falcon Winter Soldier, that looks amazing, bro.
That was a great little tease during the Super Bowl to catch, and then you jump on YouTube to catch the full video. And the full video, I mean, I think I've said it to you before here on the show. Every time I sit down and I'm watching on my TV one of those trailers or anything with that show, I'm like, that is not a TV show. That is a movie. Like we are
That was
literally
movie
going to
quality, yeah.
have a full length, I don't know if it's 6 episodes, 6 hour long movie they're basically giving us because that does not look like the quality of some little TV show.
Yeah.
Like that thing looks amazingly put together. It looks like a huge budget,
Yep.
and I love it.
And it's a mini series, right? It's not touted as a series, right?
I don't know.
Okay, because I'm assuming that there's probably not gonna be a season 2 of WandaVision. Like,
At this point, I don't think so. But at the same time, when you make money, the mouse might might find ways of
uh,
squeezing a little
uh,
more out of it, even if it's
like I would like to
something else.
I would like them to explore other stuff.
Yeah,
I think that doing this one-off like mini-series stuff is fantastic, and I think they should stick with that.
yeah.
But at the same time, we're hungry. Feed us. So yeah, it's one of those things, and reaction is very positive. So I'm sure Disney's looking at it. So yeah, but yeah, fantastic trailer. Looking forward to that as well, man. Looks action packed. Looks like this is gonna be the show that's gonna be like, out of the gate, the action packed, show. Because I know that I talked to a colleague of ours today, and he was expecting WandaVision to be very different. I was like, well, man, I love it because it's like those first 2 episodes felt like the Twilight Zone, and I loved it. But I think Falcon Winter Soldier is going to be the one where it's going to be like, explosions and all this stuff like right from the get go, and then you'll get character exploration, maybe a Cap cameo because we know
I wouldn't be surprised.
like you put two and two together, and there's two Caps in that story in that universe right now.
Yeah.
And with WandaVision, with whatever they're doing, there may be even three Caps. Who knows?
Right.
Um, but yeah, looking forward to that. And Joel, do you want to talk about Tom Holland real quick?
Sure.
And about why he's said,
Yeah.
and
No,
why he's
I'm totally good. Yeah.
why he's such a liar.
So Tom Holland this week goes and does an interview for I forget whatever project he's talking about. And he ends up talking about Spider-Man 3.
Talking about
that he's working
Uncharted,
on.
I think.
Okay.
I think it was like an Uncharted thing, and he was talking about how he had to switch between like the more grown up Nathan Drake character that he was playing, and then flipping to Peter Parker, and he was like, it was hard to flip between the characters. So he was talking about that, and a few other things in the interview. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then of course they end up asking him about, how is it working on Spider-Man 3 and what do you think about, having Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield working with these guys.
like, who?
And he just comes out, I have no idea that if these guys are in the movie. I haven't heard anything. If they are, I'm the last person to know about it. They're not in this movie. I don't know anything.
Yeah,
Blah 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 blah.
Sure, they're
But I mean, that
sure
guy is
not.
lying through his teeth. Like it is so.
Well,
You pay him millions of dollars. Of course, he has to do that, right? I mean, this is like the Talia al Ghul, looking around. I am not Talia al Ghul.
yeah,
And everyone knew she was,
yeah.
was a Khan in Star Trek. I am not Khan.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And like all those kinds of.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of
Yeah.
blatancy. So, no, I've mentioned to you this before. Like every character that's being added on, I felt like we had like a good month of like every week there was a characters being added into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think any of those characters have major roles in these movies at all. I think we're talking about literally like scenes. Like if they're Toby and Andrew, I could see maybe like a few scenes of them, like sequences. You know, them crossing over through the portals, them helping with. But I still think the main gist of it is going to be a Tom Holland movie featuring like these other guys that are in there for really cool moments. I don't think it's gonna be little by any means, but I
Yeah.
just don't think that I don't think people. I think people are thinking it's gonna be like the trifecta movie, like the whole time you're gonna have these guys walking around
No,
together, and I
it's
just can't
yeah.
imagine them doing
It's
that.
it's gonna be if they do it right, they're gonna do it like Spider Verse,
Right.
and Spider
Totally.
Verse was a Miles movie,
Right.
and and then in between the Miles moments, you get the team up moments and the moments with the villains, and then the first team up with older Peter Parker, and then you get the other team up with all of them, and
Yeah.
then the
Spider-Man,
final
maybe.
showdown and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so it's probably gonna be like that. If they if
Right.
they if they do it the way they're supposed to, that's how you play it. But yeah, he's lying. He's lying.
No, come
It's
on.
like no one believes that.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because then you get like Hollywood reporters saying it's like Tom Holland confirms that no one's in the movie. It's like, come on, Hollywood report. Do you
Clickbait.
really
Clickbait.
believe this? Like,
Clickbait.
yeah,
Trying to get people
exactly.
concerned and nervous.
IGN posting, and it's like Tom Holland says that no one's in the movie, just him.
Click just
And
to get
it's
someone to click on the
it's like
headline.
cast Tom Holland, and then producers. It's just like he's
Like
the
they of
only
course,
person in the
and
movie.
here's the real thing. Like let's just say he hasn't yet right filmed anything with these guys, right? Like he would be the last person to know because Sony would make sure, because this guy baffles off on all the spoilers of everything. That I mean, it's
He
pretty
learned.
well known for him. So yeah, I think he got a good pep talk on "Don't you squeal" or else. So
He
he's
probably
learning.
yeah. I think he already learned. So
Yeah,
yeah, very interesting stuff. Joe, there's two bits of Justice League news that
yeah,
we wanted to touch
sure.
upon. The first one being the Jared Leto Joker that was officially revealed earlier this week. Uh, I like it a lot. Yeah, this looks like a very menacing take on the Joker. It looks like the is it Death in the Family
Hmm.
sort of thing that they have going on with the sign. I mean,
Kind of,
he
yeah.
doesn't have the skin mask, but
Yeah, it does
the
kind of remind me
but the
though.
yeah, but the like the outfit, it's kind of like
Yeah, the
that.
gloves. Yeah.
And we all know long hair Joker is in. It because that's the way it should be. So it should be. Um, and yeah, this looks very good, and this looks like it looks like he's going to be part of the nightmare sequence. Going back, of course, that part was completely
Right.
caught out of the original of the thingamajig. I forgot his name. I don't even care for him anymore.
Joss Whedon
Just
cut.
Whedon cut. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Just Whedon cut. So yeah, that entire sequence, the whole nightmare thing, that was a big part of Batman v Superman got cut. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually think this is one of those refilmed moments. I genuinely
Oh
think
yeah,
so
yeah,
because they did mention that Leto was coming back on set. That was the
yeah.
rumors, and then we get these pictures. I'm pretty sure this is something that
It's
they've
a
re-put
reshoot.
together and they
Yeah,
brought in Affleck for. And that's the thing. Like, what makes this so special is not because the Joker's in this movie. Like, that's cool. But we've already seen Jared Leto's Joker before. Now we're just seeing him in Snyder's world. Cool, but the real kicker about all of this is in the interview, Snyder's talking about how it was very important to him to have Ben Affleck and Jared Leto be face to face with one another because we had not had that interaction when we had obviously Batman vs Superman. We never had him with Joker, and then in Suicide Squad, Batman's on top of his car, but that's as far as we get.
yep,
So his exact wording was like he thought it was very uncool to not have these two meet each other face to face. That's the whole point of Batman and Joker is to have the two of them stand and have this face off with each other with war of words and morals and differences and everything. It's the very flip opposite of one another, and yet so similar in the same way. So yes, I cannot wait to see his take on this. I can't wait to see, especially that's going to be, you know, we all know Nightmare Batman was pretty intense. He used the gun. He's pretty crazy. And then we've got Leto in this role. So and even more so going further into this, like this is the same stuff we were talking about where Snyder's plan was with Justice League 3 going into Justice League 4, the death of Lois Lane, going into the Injustice Gods Among Us slightly. We all know the important role that Joker plays in that. So I mean, I have no idea what fully to expect, but I expect it to be a very dramatic, heavy scene that kind of plays into what Snyder's plans was for overall, because he's kind of trying to put a bow around most of his ideas and just let his creativity fly out on this one, which is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think it's Jason Todd?
No.
No. Okay, but he killed Jason Todd for sure.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right.
He talked about that in the interview also, that
Oh, okay.
he wanted to have set up in a future Justice League movie. He wanted to have a sequence. He basically confirmed that he kills Jason Todd and burns down the Wayne Manor. So it was not going to be the warehouse thing that we get in The Death in the Family. It was going to be instead in Wayne Manor, that he was going to kill Todd and have that flashback of him burning down Wayne Manor. Which could be, one of those places that we see in Batman vs Superman. There's one place that kind of looks a little burned down that he visits at one point, that Bruce walks by at one point in the background.
And it's in the background. Yeah,
maybe that was something that Snyder was teasing again, because he had Batman vs Superman, the Jason Todd references. I don't know, but interesting nonetheless.
Was it in the background? And I want to say it was in one of the early trailers too.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think so, because I remember
they cut a lot of that movie,
bro. Yeah, they butchered it, and I remember it was a sequence, and it was him. Oh no. I think it's on Batman v Superman on the Ultimate Cut, where Bruce and Alfred are talking in like a. It's like the foyer area of of like the burned down house. Yeah. That's what it is. It's in the Ultimate Cut. It's not on the standard version. Yeah,
which is the only one you should.
Which is the only one you should watch. Come on, the movie is like
9-day difference.
Night and day, bro. It's insane. Like, dude, this movie is gonna be nuts too.
Oh yeah, the Snyder Cut Justice League. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be
March 18th.
Yeah, it's not too far away, man. About a month away.
Yeah, dude.
I'm excited for this one. Yeah, and then we had a short like teaser today, because I guess Sunday the full trailer is gonna drop.
Yep, so, 9 a.m. Pacific time, which is what 12
noon
for us. So get ready.
Yeah. So looking forward to that.
Black Suit Superman.
Black Suit Superman. They showed us a little scene, and yeah. It's
eyes blazing.
Bro, again. So you want to talk about Joss Whedon a little bit?
Sure.
We said that this show was going to be controversial today.
Yeah, sure. Go for
it. Because we know what happened with Ray Fisher, and how he's no longer Cyborg because of what's going on, and what the investigation that went, and the complaints that he had against Joss Whedon and whatnot. And then turns out that like cast members from Buffy the Vampire Slayer came out like in his defense this week, including Sarah Michelle Gellar, and saying it was like, hey, if there's something to be investigated, and yeah, we believe him. So this is nothing.
So strange.
It is. Yeah.
It's very strange, because initially we had people who were like, no, Whedon's fine, and never experienced that. And then we have, like, after the investigation's done, and then all of a sudden this hashtag I stand with Ray Fisher is trending, and then this jumping in. I feel like it's kind of like survivor's remorse. Some people, would refer to it as that.
Yep.
Where it's like, that you went through something, and you now finally feel like, hey, I survived this, and I don't want anyone else to go through this. Hearing someone else go through something like this just brings back those memories of really some sad stuff she went through. And the way I interpreted it, based on what's being said and what what people who have defended him and what people are saying like, hey, this is some really bad stuff. Is I mean, I don't like to use this word loosely, but it kind of comes across almost like a bully conduct, where it's like you pick on a certain individual and single them out and just really, really go and put them in
Yeah,
a really bad place. And because these people feel like almost like they were, in private even places, they were put into situations that were just not good. So yeah, it's really that's abusive for sure and not great. It wasn't
yeah,
good to hear.
yep. Um, how's he when he left the Marvel projects? Because I know that by the end of or before Age of Ultron came out, I had heard rumors that their relationship had already soured and that he was no longer going to be working with Marvel. So, I mean, but nothing really got out there,
he
right?
he
I haven't
didn't
heard
really
anything.
want to do after the first one, if I remember right. I don't even think he really wanted to do Age of Ultron, to be honest with you. There's some mixed things that went around there. Obviously, the success of the first movie, Marvel Studios was pretty just still getting amped up at that moment. Just trying to repeat that success, but with the rise of the Winter Soldier being such, I mean, like the best Marvel film of that time, arguably one of the best Marvel films, if not the best Marvel film of all. So that only made sense that they picked those guys to carry the torch. But yeah, I don't think Whedon was really happy like after the first Avengers movie, like doing anything with
Yeah,
them, which is kind of strange because you're like, dude, you work on the Avengers, but
I
seems like
know,
he's a
dude.
strange person.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like it is really
Yeah.
strange. So I take it right because of that behavior is not normal. Like
No.
if you ask me, that's like I direct the most one of the most successful movies of all time, if not the most at that time,
Right.
other than the first Star Wars, right? Then Titanic and Avatar, but they were like they're lightning in the bottle.
Yeah.
They're not pop culture icons, right? Like Star Wars and the Avengers. I would say that.
I
Um,
agree.
um, wouldn't you think it's like, hey, I mean, great job. Let's go ahead and work on a second one. He's like, man,
Yeah.
do I have to be great again? And it's too no, that's not like not normal. Man. So I do
No.
believe Ray Fisher. Like
Yeah. Oh, for
I'm
sure.
on his side. I'm on his side. Like he sounds a bit pretentious if you ask me. So
Yeah.
uh, I don't know the guy, but
And I'm not, like we talked about before, this guy from DC Films getting his contract re-upped as the president of DC Films. Like when Walter Hamada, that specific guy, he's a specific person that, gets called out by Ray. He calls out Johns and he calls out, Whedon, and he also calls out Walter Hamada more specifically because I don't know, like what I'm not saying that DC films have been a disaster. I've been honest about like the ones I do like. Um, but it does feel like they do need a new direction overall. I feel bad seeing, you know, you and I both know many people that online that would really go ham on Snyder and be like, he's terrible and I don't like his movies and blah blah
yeah,
blah blah. But I think he was the right guy to run the future. Him and his wife, co-producing and running the future of the DC films because you kind of see that cutoff from you got Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and the Wonder Woman movie that was all stories, and obviously Justice League, the very small bits that were Snyder's bits
yeah,
before Whedon. Like you see where there was a connection there, and then everything that came on after, whether it be Aquaman, Shazam,
so,
Wonder Woman 2, all these Suicide Squad, like that were not Snyder's world. You can definitely feel a difference, like in those creative directions, and I kind of prefer his feelings that he gave to his characters. I don't know, man.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree with you. Yeah. Man, it's I guess we're gonna have to jump into this one now. So
Go for it.
so all right, and again, we're gonna get a little bit political, not too much, but we gotta do it if we're going to talk about the topic. So, Gina Carano, she was basically told not to come back to Lucasfilm and reprise her role as Cara Dune. She was also fired by her talent agency, due to I guess it was an Instagram post.
TikTok.
It was a TikTok post. Okay. Um, and this comes in, uh, you know, what many people see as the final, the final straw in a series of, I guess, right wing sort of like uh, approval from Gina's part. Uh, she seems like a perfectly normal and reasonable person. Uh, People that have worked with her um, seem to enjoy working with her. I don't think there's a really big problem there. Uh, but her political views got in the middle of everything. I'm going to make a really what to me is a common sense comment, right? Before we keep discussing what's going on here. Um, if you're trying to prove a point, and no matter how good of a point you're trying to prove, and no matter how well intended it is, and no matter how well written, and no matter how uh, man, really it doesn't matter how good your argument is. Never, never, do not by any circumstance compare it to the Holocaust. That is like, bro, the moment you do that, you are done, x'd out. That's it. And I don't think that I think that her post was inappropriate, right? Um, but at the same time, good for her for standing her ground. But there are consequences. So yeah.
Yeah. So
No matter how good your point is, don't do it. Don't ever do it.
There's a lot of things that you can learn from this. You and I have had multiple discussions about this in our own time.
Yeah.
We've seen stuff we know, but just in general, we've had wonderful discussions about, um, you know, being responsible about what you put out there on social media. That's why even on this podcast, we're not just like freewheely, just saying whatever, going crazy. Like we really are
Yeah.
really intentional, and like Obed was trying to be very, cautious on how he worded, even just how he felt about that. It's like totally how we do things here, because guess what? The camera's rolling right now. This is live. You can't take back what you put out there, right?
Yep.
And that's the same thing that we see going on here, right? Like there's no, you can't, when you hear something from someone's mouth, when you hear someone putting something out on their own free terms, that's a choice that you make now, and now you have to live with those consequences. So to your point, Obed, yeah, there's certain things that you just probably stay away from putting out there publicly. Let's be honest, had this been old Hollywood, there wouldn't have be social media the way it is now. Nobody would have cared.
John Wayne
People
said
would
way
have
worse
actually probably
stuff.
defended her. They would have been like, "Oh, I really like her, this character." Da 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 da.
There's
It's only because we get this insight,
There's probably like multiple like racist rants by like Clint Eastwood back in the day, or like, I mean, we all know about the John Wayne stuff. Like, it was like those tapes that came out like 50 years after the fact or whatever.
There's probably all kinds of people and things that we're not even thinking about, that we would not even guess right
like,
away.
Even Walt freaking Disney, dude. It's like,
I know. I mean, it's just a matter of,
come on.
It's a matter of a different time and different things. Where the point being is, now we're in 2021, where what you put out there is publicly shown, and she's someone that has a lot of people watching her, and it's Star Wars, like everyone knows about it, and one of the most successful shows on television. So a lot of things that she put out there, it's interesting. She had out there for a while that people started circulating things, tweets that she liked, things that she retweeted that kind of showed that she aligned with a certain line of thinking. This is the way I'll phrase it because people are instantly making it political. She could have been on any side of the spectrum, but there's certain things you just I think you're saying it's a matter of right or wrong. It's not a matter of politics. And I think that's the problem with all of this, right? But she made it political very clearly with some of the stuff she was doing, and it kind
Yeah.
of feels like she egged on because it's almost like she was
Yeah.
waiting to be fired. Like when you look at this
Yeah.
post, the way it's worded, like they're gonna come for you or
Bro,
something, and you're
I saw it.
like, are you asking for them to do this?
I saw this post, and I heard the toaster from the first episode of WandaVision, like click 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 click, because it's
Yeah,
like it was only a matter of time. Like
yeah.
it
It
was,
it, it,
yeah,
it feels like she wanted that. Wow, my thing just flashed blue on my my light here. Anyways, yeah, like I think I totally get why they did this. It's interesting that they didn't do it sooner with some of the other things that were going on from the past that were controversial. But I think what that shows is that John Favreau was just really liked the character and just wanted to continue on, and probably was hoping that this would simmer down and not continue. But that
yeah,
continued behavior, they just couldn't put up with it anymore for the sake of what you want to be associated with.
yeah,
The argument of free speech, she's allowed to put that stuff out there. She's allowed to stand on the side of the street and hold up a sign and say something crazy. That's free speech. The point being is the consequences from a private institution. They can do whatever they want, and they
yeah,
should be able to do that. So I
absolutely,
I can I stand for the rights of the individual. I stand for the rights of the business.
yeah,
And I think Disney did what should have been done in that standpoint. So
yeah.
I get it. I totally get it. It was a good ride with the character. I liked Cara Dune, the character. But it's not like I loved her character to a point where it's like, oh my gosh, the show's ruined.
No,
I
yeah,
don't
I
care
agree,
at all.
I
Like
agree.
people who started going crazy like that, I was like, no,
Well,
like
if you ask me, if
they
you
could
ask,
recast if they really wanted. I
absolutely.
don't even think they need to do that, but
No, I think
whatever.
the way the season 2 ended, um, it would really put her out of the picture.
Yeah.
Like she would be replaced with Bo-Katan, because that's basically that's how the show ended. With now there's a conflict between Mando and Bo. Like Cara Dune did her thing, right? She can go back to being the marshal, and that's it, right? And we don't see her again. But now they can, there's probably a different, they can follow a different path. And like what you said, if at some point she's gonna come back, if she was gonna be a part of the Rangers of the New Republic
She
thing.
was gonna have her own show initially. Reports were
Yes.
in November they were already talking
Yeah.
about doing that for that investors meeting, and then they last minute said, "Nah,
Yeah.
the PR has
So
not been great."
so the investors meeting, there's an investors meeting tomorrow.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I guess this was part of it. Um, Here's the thing, though. Again, um, I guess her toys are selling well too. So
They are or not.
they are, and
Oh yeah.
it really sucks. So, it's all right.
I mean,
So
it's Star Wars, right? Like, it's not usual that you see a strong, stormtrooper, ex-stormtrooper female character. Like, it's like a very different character that they created, Filoni and them.
yeah, yeah.
That's just the point of it.
It really stinks,
Yeah,
and
you don't want this
the
to
whole
happen.
situation stinks because um I and I know that she wanted to stand her ground, right? But at the same time, it's like, dude, we've talked about it privately. And you know my political views, and I know your political views, and I think for the most part we're all in the same spectrum, um, eh, but I mean let's just say that I've I had to I've had there's been times that I had to bite my tongue, because you know
Oh, for sure.
I think that biting the hand that feeds you is a is a is a real douchebag move, and I'm not, I am a grateful man, and I am grateful for
You're a
opportunities.
wise
I
man.
am not going to, bro. It's like the only time that I would burn a bridge is it's the only time I would actually burn a bridge if I'm the owner of the bridge and I'm holding the torch. I burn my
Okay,
own
that's a good
bridge.
point. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good point.
it's like I'm not about to burn someone else's bridge. No, man.
That's a good point.
So, and that's what happened with her.
Sure.
She was giving more, yeah, the opportunity to, either retract or apologize, and I know, and we know that Mark Hamill's, very vocal
Oh,
about
sure.
politics, and
But
uh,
even he has a line, like
yeah,
like you're talked about. You don't compare things to
yeah.
like there's certain things you probably just don't touch, right?
Well, no, I mean he's. I would say that Mark exactly. Again, there's certain things you don't touch. It's
Right.
like, bro, it's like
There's
every
political beliefs and personal beliefs, and then there's things that are
abs-
just like
uh,
way out there.
absolutely, and it's like same with religion. And again, it's one of the topics
Sure.
that I really don't want to bring in the podcast. But uh, you sometimes talk to a religious person, and it's like I am suffering like the Lord suffered. It's like
But you're allowed to say that.
again,
I have no problem. I have no
yeah,
problem with someone saying that. Like that
but
doesn't.
but
There's
are
no
you
problem. You know where I
are you
stand with
getting
faith. But
are you
there's
getting
certain
nine
things.
tailed in your back right now and bleeding to death? Nah.
Yes, but it's not offensive, right? There's a
Eh,
difference, right? That's a
yeah,
person's
that's a
faith. And
personal thing, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to talk bad about that.
Yeah.
There's many faiths that, there's things
Self
that we
punishment.
would probably say, okay, that's different,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to come, and come down their street. But there's a point of crossing roads that are just, that's the point, right? Like if we made fun of, someone else, that would be probably crossing a line also where,
Exactly, exactly.
we
And
wouldn't
I
want.
think that the whole, there's this um and I really, again, it really sucks that we have to talk about it, but there's this I guess victimhood complex in certain political views, more leaning to the right, where people feel like they are like being attacked when they're really not. And there's like, oh, they're gonna come in and take away. It's like it's been a month and a half. Like, where's the people coming into your
Yeah,
house and taking your
they gave
stuff?
multiple chances and these kind of things. It's not the
Yeah,
same. There are
exactly.
circumstances, sure,
Yeah,
that people maybe did things that were a little different, but
yeah,
this ain't one
exactly.
of them.
Yeah,
But
and
what
the
is
thing,
interesting
yeah,
though, Ben, you
and
have to admit, is about the Ahsoka, the actress who plays Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson. You know about some of the controversy surrounding her. That's where
yes,
people would make the argument and say, "Hold on a second, you got the one that leans right, but the one that was, with a candidate." You know what I'm saying? I think though,
yeah.
again, like it has to do with the simple fact of chances, and where John and Dave, where they're going. They're hoping that this will prevail and that people will
Bro,
act responsibly. And I'm sure Disney has given many people the talk. I mean,
I,
I remember Scarlett Johansson. I remember Scarlett Johansson was going to be a part
bro.
of this other movie, and it was. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the movie, but it was
Oh
offensive to
yeah,
people. Disney made a
yeah,
phone call and said, "Listen, listen, lady,
yeah.
we don't want you doing this. It's not going to be good for us. You
Yep.
won't be an Avenger." And yeah, she ended up putting out a statement. Yeah, I'm not going to do that movie. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure happens all the time. But
Well,
just again, chance
the
after chance.
best example I can give you is James Gunn.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he messed up and he manned up and apologized for it. It's like, oh
Right.
yeah, I made some comments and some jokes that
Oh, and
were,
he never went
but
backwards and was like, "Oh, I'm under."
it's
People
something that
said
I did
stuff,
in
but
the
he
mo.
never said anything about that. You
No,
won't find it.
no. So, but that's the thing, right? You have to man up. Like that's the difference. And
Yeah.
again, we go back to James Gunn, and I know that there's been some back and forth between James Gunn and whatnot, but the thing with James Gunn is like, oh yeah, I've said some things, I messed up. It's in the past. I was 10 years ago. You're a totally different person, and that's completely acceptable in my opinion, right? Because I'm not gonna judge someone for hey, I accidentally ran over a raccoon 10 years ago. It's like that doesn't make you an animal murderer. It's like, but it's the thing, right? It's
Yeah, I mean, I would say also with everything going on here that, I think Disney, like I said, I think they've had these talks with people before. I think they've given them these opportunities. I think that at the end of the day, someone like Gina Carano, like she literally had a great chance, a great opportunity. Unfortunately, it did not align with Disney's brand, understandably.
Oh
I
yeah,
completely understand where
I
they're
don't
coming
blame
from,
them.
and
Yeah,
I didn't even blink for a second and think anything other than why did they do this? Like I was like, yeah, of course I know why they did this. Any sane person reads this and you know what's going on here.
exactly.
And I've had these conversations with you again offline. Some things, some situations, you know, and I'm sure you yourself have been, like we've mentioned, circumstances, things I've had to confront in my own life with people and say, yeah, did you see this person had content associated with certain figures that was very inappropriate, and bring it to people's attention because
Yeah,
it's important that you know where you stand on things and that you say things when it's wrong, and this is one of the circumstances I want to make sure I'm on the right side of history, which is saying this is
yeah.
not
I
a
mean,
normal thing to be putting out there in this comparison. So yeah, I mean
yeah. I mean, the whole
it's
situation
what it is,
stinks,
but
but it is what it is. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And that's the thing, right? She was given the chance, like more than enough chances to like, hey, tone it down and don't be so confrontive about this and whatnot. Um, on the same token, though,
yeah,
I just want to make a quick comment on Lucasfilm because it is a weekly thing on the show that we basically pull down our pants and take a dump on top of Lucasfilm, but so we go back to Lucasfilm um and the disappointment that we all get with them, right? If they are so like pro diversity, where was the happy birthday James Earl Jones, and they don't acknowledge you know male figures in Star Wars anymore. It seems to me, right? That seems to be a recurrent thing. Um, but then when the writer for the Grand Republic started like, oh yeah, there's some like really crazy stuff that this lady said a few years ago. They're silent on it. And I was like, oh yeah, that's not acceptable, and that's it. But then they go ahead and cancel Gina. Well, again, yeah, she was given the opportunity to either apologize or retract or put out a statement, dude. It's like you have a PR person. You're gonna have a PR statement. You can have like a, yeah, whatever. It's like, hey, you know, I know that in the past I may have posted this stuff and it may have been, sensitive for some people, and if you were offended, I apologize, and whatever PR statement you want to put out. But now it seems like she's out of a career, dude. Because like your talent agency, like when I saw that it was that Lucasfilm let her go, it was like, oh, here we're gonna get all the man babies and fanboys just screaming about Gina, right? But when I saw that it was her agency as well, then I was like, oh yeah, like this. There's something else going on that we're not seeing. That is not only Lucasfilm. It's not only the Star Wars people that let her go. There is some other problem that her talent agency like broke up with her. Like, and I don't want to bring it up, Joe, but the thing that's going on with Army Hammer right now, and up until like recently, like a few days ago, that's when the his agency like stopped working with him, and
yeah.
and I think that whatever's going on over there, I don't want to talk about it. Is a billion times worse than this. So, you
Well,
know,
this is where the common line of where there's smoke, there's fire.
yeah,
So I've seen a few people say this. There's a guy that you and I both know that he put something out I saw where he said like, although like it may not have seemed like horrible to certain individuals, it definitely has it has a connections to a darker line of thinking. Like like if this is like the small
oh
bits,
yeah,
like I can only imagine how far it could go, and you don't want to risk those chances on
absolutely,
your
absolutely.
So
Yep. Uh, wish her well, and hopefully she can recover her career, and
she hasn't said anything publicly aside from the hashtag I stand with Gina. She had retweeted that, because people were when people were trending, fire her, and then people were saying
yeah,
hashtag I stand with her.
yeah,
Um, my aspect, like I said to you, is the same thing. I stand with free speech, but I also stand with the company to have the free will to say, listen, this is some
absolutely,
crazy stuff. So
absolutely.
if you feel like you want to go and say that kind of stuff, just know you won't have a home at Disney to do it. And
Yeah,
but you can do it. So that's a choice that she has to make. And again, thanks for your contribution to Star Wars, but that's it. No more.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. Um, speaking of Mando, Joe, we have a confirmation, a casting confirmation for the Last of Us TV show that's going to be happening at HBO. So, Bella Ramsey, who played I forgot the name over in Game of
Little Bear
Thrones.
or something along those lines.
Sorry,
For something Bear or something like that. I forget. She's like
something.
a yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I never watched Game of Thrones, so so I have no clue what's going on. Um, so she's gonna be playing Ellie, and then Pedro Pascal is gonna be playing Joel. There were rumors there for a second that Mahershala Ali was gonna be playing Joel, which, dude, I was 100% on board. That would have been the case. It's like, and because her casting news came out first, if that would have been the case, I pictured a specific scene in The Last of Us that actually made it like more powerful if it would have been Mahershala Ali, but it's Pedro, so we're still good. We're still
Right,
good.
right.
So how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I saw a thing with Marshala also going around, and I think the story I read was that they were trying to get him on board, and he turned it down, which is interesting. So I don't know
Okay.
what the deal was there, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then I guess Pedro was the backup, which is like, again, like you said, it's like it's a win-win. Like, can't go wrong there. They're really lining this up to be a very special show, and I appreciate that they're taking this show seriously. Um, you have a show like Watchmen that they put out that I've mentioned before is just absolutely incredible. It was mentioned in other news this last week that the writer of that HBO Watchmen show is also working on Mahershala Ali's Blade MCU movie, so that's an interesting one.
Nice.
Regardless of that, yes, actress for Ellie. I love that they went young. I love that they. I mean, that's the character is supposed to be literally a very young girl, very young kid. So I'm glad that they went with someone who actually is young. It always bothers me when I watch movies where it's like the character's supposed to be 14 and you cast
It's
a
32.
32 or 26-year-old, and you're like, that's not
What
it's
was
not the same.
It's like, man, like Andrew
It's messing
Garfield.
them up.
Like Andrew Garfield's the best example. It's like,
Or
it's like,
you watched the Fantastic Four, that new Fantastic Four stick.
yeah, yeah,
They're literally walking around with like little like 13-year-olds walking around behind them, and there's like grown adults just walking. Like, what is going
Just
on?
this grown ass dude with a
Yeah, it's come on, man. So that always bothered me. So
yeah,
I'm glad that they legitimately got
yeah,
a young actress, and I'm not gonna say I know about her in Game of Thrones, but I would imagine that she's a very talented actress to land this role. So
yeah.
I think that's a great opportunity for her, and happy for her. And she looks like Ellie. I mean, yeah, I was like, sure, that's great. And then the Pedro Pascal thing, one of the first things that someone mentioned to me was like, "Oh man, this guy always plays a dad." I mean, like,
Yeah.
he's like basically, Grogu's dad, basically,
And the
with
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. He's a dad there as well.
Yeah.
Something else I saw with him recently, I
So
can't remember what it was. He was, I'm like, oh,
very
he's
fatherly
dad
dude.
casted now.
Yeah.
It's
That
good for him.
his dad cast it. Yeah, for life
Yeah,
now. That
they
it
could have
seems like.
gotten Joel to play Joel. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I will certainly I'll certainly be interested to see how this goes. I'm not someone who keeps up with many HBO shows, but
I would
this
watch
one
this.
this
Yeah.
will be one of those that we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Definitely reasons to be excited. I think the show's definitely going in the right direction. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Joel, only two pieces of gaming news that I want to talk about this week. Just today, dude. I don't know if you saw that the Kingdom Hearts series got announced. It's coming to PC. So that's coming to PC on March 30th exclusively at the Epic Game Store. So Steam users were a little bit salty, to say the least, and calling BS on this. But it's a big one, and
Big one.
and I want to talk. So what we're gonna talk about now, take it with a gigantic grain of salt, like the saltiest grain of salt that you can get, right? So so they announced that Kim Hearts is going to PC right on March 30th. Um, there's a rumor going around, and the rumors on Twitter is not. There's no reports. This is like word of mouth thing that's happening out there, right? There's rumors that there will be a Final Fantasy VII definitive remake, definitive edition coming out for PS5 and PC. Allegedly comes out in April. Allegedly, in conjunction with that announcement, there will be another announcement. And that announcement is that, again, this is just rumor. Don't go tomorrow if you listen to this saying, hey, this is happening. But apparently Sony is in talks to acquire Square Enix, which would not only give Sony exclusivity for the Final Fantasy series, the Kingdom Hearts series, Nier, Bravely Default, all the other stuff that Square does, and what the IDOS studios do, like Montreal, like the Tomb Raider studios, the guys that did Avengers, RIP Avengers, which is it's huge, right? I know the Bethesda Microsoft thing is big, right?
I immediately thought of that.
I'm not a Bethesda guy, but this gets me excited. Like thinking about like Square Enix and where it could go with Sony, and opening, Sony opening like the resources, like engines and all this stuff that R&D and all the other stuff that Sony does. That to me, I'm on board if that's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm really happy if that would be the case. Like, I don't mind, right? Because we know that Final Fantasy 16. Well, first Final Fantasy 7 remake, right? Final Fantasy 16, it was announced as a PlayStation console exclusive, and what's the other one they announced? Oh, and that other separate project that for PS5 that they're doing, Project something. And that's going to be a PS5 exclusive. So we know that they're working closely with Sony already. Of course, we know Final Fantasy 14 is PS4, PC. So I think that Sony, if this were to happen, they may keep it as a PlayStation PC sort of thing happening, kind of like what Microsoft is doing with their studios. I think this is a good move in their part, just to keep it, not to keep it locked to the console, and just having this studio or this properties be part of PC as well. Again, this is all rumors. This is like not like this is like a leak from some YouTuber that signed an NDA talking up that because he or she was invited to get like a sneak peek for 7 remake on PS5. Like, this is like where this is coming from.
Which, if that's true, man, they're gonna eat her alive
So
for
yeah,
signing an NDA and then you leak this.
yeah. Well, there's like they don't know, right? Like they don't know who it is.
Assuming it's true.
Like apparently this is someone that, like, the person that's spreading these rumors is someone that knows a person that went to this event and signed the NDA. So it's like if I sign the NDA and I tell you about it, and then you do a separate video
Sure.
on like Joel's YouTube channel about it, right? So that's basically what it is. Um, yeah, it's nuts. If this is true, and they're saying that is it, this is gonna be like within the next year that this will happen. Um, I'm sure that we'll hear something at E3 if this is the case. Like,
Which is just announced to be online
which is
only.
yeah, exactly. Which is announced that E3 is gonna be virtual. I mean, no surprises there. But it's better than getting canceled like last year, like straight up canceled. So at least they have the time to prep a virtual event, and hopefully we can see more stuff. Like we can see Sony back at and do a presentation. Hopefully Nintendo will do something about the Zelda anniversary, because this year is the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. So they haven't announced anything. So yeah, it's
Yeah, WonderCon got announced to be canceled today.
oh really?
Fans are getting nervous about San Diego Comic Con. I can't imagine how they would do that, the timeline that they have. So if they're gonna do it, it has to be pushed or it has to be completely canceled again. Emerald Con, I think, got announced. They said they're gonna move that thing all the way to December of this year. Like they went all the way to the end, like well, on the edge of 2022. Yeah, it's gonna be a different year.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be really interesting. Oh, also, Joe announced today as well the release date for Ratchet and Clank for PS5, June 11th.
June.
Yep.
That's so much further than any of us thought, dude. Like
I,
initially that was gonna be like a early launch title, and I'm not saying it's not early, but I mean it's not early at the same
yeah.
time. Like
Well, this guy's put out Miles too, so like they're
no,
they're
yeah,
putting two
two
games
good,
within 7 months of each other. So
two
that's
big games. Yeah,
impressive. Yeah,
I'm excited for
it's
that
very
Ratchet Clank.
impressive.
I think I mentioned you before. I'll pick it up.
That yeah, that looked really good. That looked really good. Yeah. Yeah. It seems like this year, I'm gonna see what else comes out, right? But that may be a get.
God of Wars,
If that's
still
if
on
that's
there.
still yeah, if that's still true,
Horizon.
possibly maybe I don't know. Yeah, I
Aside
mean
from that,
Horizon. I can see Horizon coming out because Horizon came out in 2017. They already have an engine in place, and assets, so I can see Horizon maybe moving along quicker. And even God of War now that they have a concept for it, so
they just need more consoles for people to be able to play these games.
it's gonna suck until summer, bro.
Oof.
It's gonna be bad. Um, yeah, very very interesting rumors that are happening. Um, I'm excited for all these rumors and everything that's going on. I'm excited for the PS5 because I think it's a great machine, man.
Oh yeah,
It's fast and it looks incredible.
it's a big boy, right? How did you get
Oh,
that thing loaded in
bro,
your setup?
no, it's on the floor.
It's massive,
It's on
dude.
the yeah, it's on the floor. Like I put it on top of
Like a
so
placemat or something.
no. So you saw you seen my setup, right? You seen
Yeah,
I have the TV on the wall, and then I have the credenza there. So I put it on top of like to the side of it, and I got the look from the
like,
wife,
doesn't
and
look
it's like
good.
I'm gonna put it on the floor because it was too big. It was like
It's big,
it's like
dude.
taking yeah, and even like I think I think you saw a picture of it. I'll show you a picture of how it looks with it set
I was
up.
like, do
So
you
you
have
can
a
see it.
vertical?
It's
On the,
vertical on the
that's
floor.
what I
Yeah,
thought. Yeah.
yeah. So it's vertical on the floor next to the credenza, between the credenza and one of my speakers. So
Okay.
it's like right in the middle. Yeah, so yeah, man, it's fine there. I mean, there's no it's on the stand, so there's no water damage or anything that's gonna happen. It's fine. It's that area that
You're a
never
clean man. I know you.
yeah, and I can manage dust better there too. So yeah, my PS4's here. It's like that thing fits anywhere, so it's great. Uh,
That PS5 is a beast.
it's a chunky boy.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's heavy too. It's like PS3, fat PS3 heavy. Yeah, it's a baby.
Right.
My baby. Yeah. Um, but I'm really excited. That device is really good. that controller's awesome. So, oh, by the way, I was wearing the headphones wrong. That's why they were uncomfortable.
I just because it didn't make sense to me when you were talking about it. I'm like, it's been fine for me. I mean, I have smaller ears, but you know.
I was wearing them wrong. It was ridiculous. Yeah. So, no, they're good. They're good. Now I'm good. Now I'm good. Now I'm good. So, yeah, it was
That's
pretty funny
funny.
when I realized it. I was like, oh crap, this is real
Went
stupid.
on a whole episode talking about how weird it was.
I know, right? Yeah, but that's what we got, Joel. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get Magneto on
Oh
WandaVision.
wow,
So,
tomorrow.
oh man, I don't know. So let's go ahead and plug us in, sir.
Absolutely. Good people of the low time, thank you for staying with us for this episode. We encourage you to stay subscribed to our show. We have our audio podcast versions that are available on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify. Look it up on your podcast platform. Make sure to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can catch our video versions there, as well as following us on social media. Right now, we're on Facebook Live if you're watching this on the video version on our Facebook channel. So follow us on our Facebook page, on our Twitter, our Instagram, and our Twitch. Also, make sure to send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com with any questions, comments, feedback. We welcome it. We appreciate it. We look forward to being with you all in our very next episode.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. Be normal on social media. We'll see you again next time.